literally freed up 300 gigabytes of storage on my computer. My iPad is backing up. Last night, for the first time in over a year, this is like a cheat code. This is so scary. Okay. My total iCloud storage that is being taken up is... Hello you guys, welcome back to another vlog, and in this one we're going to be doing something that I've been procrastinating for literally a year. I got a notification that my iCloud storage has been filled back in October of last year while I was on my Disney College program, and back then that was the last thing that I wanted to deal with, so I just have been hoping and praying that nothing breaks and nothing gets lost. Nothing has been able to back up onto my iCloud account in a year. Like, it's been 49 weeks at this point. I think I got a notification last night that said, your iCloud hasn't been backed up in 49 weeks, you should probably fix that. So we're gonna try and do that today, and instead of paying for more iCloud storage, I've realized that I am holding on to a little too much stuff digitally. So we're going to do a major digital declutter, like the biggest digital declutter that I've ever done in my entire life. And I feel like this is something that a lot of people go through. A lot of people like to keep their videos and keep their photos and really hold on to a lot of things, when in reality, when are you gonna use it? So I need to go through all of my things. Obviously I do content stuff, so I'm gonna probably keep a little bit more than the average person. So we're going to go through all of my devices and all of my files everywhere and majorly declutter stuff. And by the end of this video, the end goal, the ideal end goal, is to not have to pay for any more storage, whether that's physical hard drives or iCloud storage. We're just gonna hope and pray for the best and see what happens. So with that said, the first thing that we're going to do is go through my actual hard drives. I have two 1 terabyte hard drives. These are both by Seagate, and I have these little bumpers on them because I am the world's worst hard drive owner of all time. I have broken 3 of these in the last like 3 years because I keep bumping them on stuff. So I put these bumpers on them. I got them on Amazon on like a 3-pack, and they are literally lifesavers, but I don't touch them unless I'm doing it for this purpose. Unless I am backing up stuff, I don't touch them. I used to use them solely for like editing stuff, and I would just have everything stored on here anyway, and maybe I should continue doing that, but it's a lot easier on the go to not have to travel with these, and just like gives you a little bit more peace of mind knowing that they're just sitting on a shelf and I can just use them on my desk and not have to worry about transporting them. So anyway, I don't know how much filled they are. They have different purposes depending on what the colors of the bumpers are. And I don't really remember exactly what the jobs are for. Like, that's how long it's been since I've backed up stuff. I know it's bad, but we're gonna go through both of these first and see what I want to keep on them and see what I can just delete and get rid of, because in the past I've used them solely as backup stuff. I just do select all, move over, and delete from the actual device, and I feel like that doesn't need to be done anymore, especially because I think this one is the one that I use for content. This has content on here since college from 2 years ago, so I need to go through this hard drive and see, okay, what kind of footage do I want to keep, because the footage is like the biggest thing. And then I think this one has things like professional development, portfolio type things. And then I also have a bunch of like random flash drives and stuff that I want to go through and kind of see how much storage I can put on them. So with that said, let's go through these two bad boys and see what I want to keep and get rid of, because this is basically going to dictate everything else that we do in this video. How much storage do I have available to me to back up, because that might be a driving factor in all of this. So let's throw these on the computer, see how much storage we have, and we're just gonna hope for the best. We're gonna do this black one first. I'm pretty sure this is all of my content related stuff, so we're just going to see how much there is on here. This is the last one that I think I touched, because I did do a content backup a couple of months ago, so I'm not expecting to have to get rid of a whole ton on here, but we'll just kind of see. Oh no, this is my actual backup of all of the stuff that's on my computer. So we're gonna go through this and see what we end up getting rid of. Right now, let's see how much this currently has in it as far as storage availability. These are 2 terabytes. I thought they were 1 terabyte, but they're both 2. So that makes things a little easier. But this says that there is about 1.9 terabytes. So this doesn't have a whole ton of stuff on it at all, which is so nice. So let's go through this, see what we can back up. Okay, that was actually fairly simple. I ended up putting on about as much as I took off of the hard drive, so I still have almost 2 terabytes of storage on here. Now we're gonna go through my content hard drive and see how much room I have. I know for a fact that that hard drive is almost filled, so we might end up having to do some maneuvering here. In my content hard drive, this one has a ton of space used. I only have 144 gigabytes left. So we might end up having to move stuff around a little bit, but we'll get it figured out. It'll be okay. We'll go through this real fast, see what I want to keep, see what I want to toss, and see what we end up with. I just deleted a whole ton of stuff and it's gonna take forever, so that's a good sign, I'm hoping. But for now, I'm actually going to take a break for a minute and go do a couple of things around the house, and then I'll be back and we'll see just how much I ended up deleting, because it's kind of a lot. It is literally hours later, you guys. I started that clip, the last clip of me going through my hard drive at like 11:30. It is now 2:30. I have spent 3 hours compressing, deleting, backing up documents and things, and I have freed up a lot of space on my computer as well as on my hard drives, which is amazing. And while I was doing the backing up and things, I was looking into just all of the apps that I have on my computer, because some of them I don't really use anymore, especially the ones that I had downloaded while I was in college that I no longer need, specifically Adobe Suite. I was lucky enough to be able to get access to the full Adobe Suite while I was in college because of my major. And now that I'm not in college anymore, I don't have access to the Adobe licensing that is currently downloaded to my computer. So it's just been sitting up, taking up space for the last 1.5 years now. And I finally figured out a way to delete them permanently off of my computer, to uninstall them completely. And it literally freed up 300 gigabytes of storage on my computer. Adobe was taking up so much room, and there's a bunch of like random hidden files and stuff that it got rid of too, which is amazing. So now I have like 2/3 of my storage back on my computer, which is amazing. It feels so good to have all of those softwares deleted. So next on the docket, I'm going to go into my iPad next. I feel like my computer is pretty well backed up and like decluttered. It feels really nice to have my computer done. That was gonna be the easiest thing. We're gonna go from easiest device to hardest device. We're gonna go through my iPad next and just basically go through all of my apps, all of my documents, all of the random things that I don't use anymore, and then we're also going to tackle my photos. I'm really not looking forward to that. We're actually going to be doing my photos in multiple phases because, like I said, my iCloud hasn't been backed up in over 1 year, or almost 1 year, and most of that is because I have too many photos on my devices. It's gotten to the point now where my photos don't sync up on my devices anymore. Like the photos that I take on my phone and the photos that are on my iPad, they're not all the same, which sounds a little weird. There's some overlap, but there's not enough overlap to where it's like the same exact album, if you know what I mean. Like there's not the exact number of photos on every single device like it should be. I'm gonna go through my iPad and go through my photos first, just do like a random dump of things that I could potentially like literally delete, and then we're gonna go from there. I'm basically just going to go by device and just kind of narrow stuff down. And then once I have a camera roll that I'm pretty happy with, we're also going to go onto my hard drive, the one that had a ton of space on it, and back up a lot of my older photos on my phone that I don't really like look at a whole ton, so that I can delete them off of my phone and free up some iCloud storage. So that is basically the game plan. I have a feeling that this is not going to be finished today. I'm gonna have to probably do it tomorrow too, which I'm not excited about, especially on my phone, but we're gonna do the iPad stuff today and just probably call it at that point, because my fiance is supposed to get home in like an hour. So we'll see how much we can get done by then. Storage on my iPad right now, and it says my last backup was September of last year. So it's been more than 1 year on my iPad since it's been backed up. So we're gonna go through this and figure out what I can potentially delete. There's not a whole ton left, honestly, that I feel like I could potentially get rid of, but I'm gonna go through all of my apps and see how much storage each app takes up and go into every app and kind of figure out what I can delete. Because the biggest things that I have on here that are being backed up are Procreate and GoodNotes, which Procreate I use for all of my thumbnails, so I'm gonna keep a lot of the things on there, but maybe if I have like old thumbnails or something, I can delete those. And then for GoodNotes, there's only a couple of tiny little things that I could potentially delete from there, so I think this is gonna be pretty simple and fast. The biggest thing, like I said, is going to be the photos. That's gonna be kind of hard, but we'll figure it out. It'll be fine.
One eternity later.
You guys, my iPad is backing up. I actually ended up turning off the backup option for Procreate because that was the thing that was taking up the most space. And I only really use Procreate for my thumbnails, and I feel like that's not really like a dire thing to have backed up. I can always just like go and re-download it. So hopefully that means that whenever I do my backups in the future, that Procreate is still available to me, because I did pay $5 for it, and hopefully I don't have to pay for it again if I have to re-download it. I don't know. Either way. So with that said, I'm gonna go through my photos next, something that I am really not excited about, and we're going to see how much I end up deleting. I'll let you know what the progress is, but right now on my iPad, from what I can see, my library currently has 1,457 items in my library. I think that's pretty feasible and doable. However, this is only on my iPad, what my iPad has access to. It's not my entire library, I don't think. I'm gonna check that, double check that. But because I turned off the iCloud sync to Procreate, it might have just like resynced everything, which would be amazing and awesome. So yeah. It is day 2 of this whole digital declutter journey. We'll call it that, because it has taken up so much time and effort and energy, but I'm so excited for how it's going right now, because last night, for the first time in over a year, both my phone and my iPad were able to be backed up to my iCloud. It feels so nice knowing that, because for the last year, whenever I've been traveling or, you know, I'm just out and about with my phone, if something happens to my phone in particular, everything from the last year is lost. So the good part is that last night everything updated and everything is refreshed and the most up to date that it could possibly be on the cloud, just so that if something were to happen tomorrow to my phone or my iPad or something crashes, I can easily access that information again, which makes me feel so good. So what we're going to do today is we're going to focus on my phone. So we're going to go through a lot of my apps that have data on them that I don't need anymore, or maybe they're apps that, you know, I can easily re-log into later and re-download later, like shopping apps, that kind of thing. I don't have to back those up. I'm mostly just worried about the things that are personalized and things you can't get anymore on the App Store. If you know, you know. So yeah, we're gonna just focus on that today and see what we end up with. Also, something that I noticed about the iCloud backup is my photos have also backed up themselves. They're taking up 8 gigabytes of storage though, so that's unfortunate. But the exciting thing about that is that for the first time since my college program, actually, I'm able to access all of my photos on any of my devices. Everything has basically been housed on my phone, and I just had to airdrop stuff whenever I'm making thumbnails or whatever. But now I can access everything everywhere, which is so nice. So what we're going to do, after we go through my phone and everything, do my like actual device declutter and storage update, we're also going to go through all of my photos now that everything is synced up again, and we're going to back everything up. This bad boy that I showed you yesterday, this thing has so much storage on it still, and photos don't take up a whole ton of room. So we're going to go onto my Photos app, back up everything, and honestly, I might just delete a bunch of things off of my devices anyway, because a lot of these pictures are old and cringy anyway. So anyway, that's gonna be something that I do too in this little montage, is going through my photos on my phone. But I just wanted to mention that because it's an exciting thing for me as someone that loves to create stuff with photos and stuff. So anyway, let's go sit on the couch for a little while, do some backing up, and do some digital decluttering some more on my phone. I'll probably throw like a YouTube video or a movie or something on the TV and just kind of chill and see what we end up with. Right now, my iCloud storage on my phone is taking up about 23 gigabytes. So we're gonna see how much room it takes up by the end of this. Fingers crossed that it's less than 20. That is my goal. guys, it has been literally like an hour and a half of me going through my phone trying to figure out little ways to reduce my storage space on iCloud, and the only way that I can see this really making any improvement is by basically not factory resetting, but like removing my iCloud backup of my phone entirely, restarting my phone and turning it back on and seeing how much storage it takes up. I saw something online that said that if you've done all of the iCloud things and you've tried to clear stuff out, you've cleared out everything you can, and your backups are still huge for some reason, sometimes that means that if you've had your phone for a couple of years, this is the iPhone 15 by the way, I've had this thing for about 2 years now, they say that you can sometimes store multiple versions of the backup on iCloud. So if you remove your phone from iCloud entirely and put it back on and just do like the most recent version, it could sometimes help. So we're gonna probably end up pressing this really scary big red button at the bottom of my iCloud storage on my phone. Right now it says 22.89 gigabytes. I was able to kind of reduce it just a little bit, like by half a gigabyte by turning off some things, but the math wasn't mathing for me, which is why I'm gonna try and press this button here, this turn off and delete from iCloud button. I'm gonna need some more support for that whenever my fiance gets home, because if this ends up factory resetting my phone, I'm gonna be so sad and so disappointed, but I don't think that's the case. I think it's just turning off the backups. So we're going to press this button when he gets home, turn it off, turn it back on, and just see what happens, because this makes zero sense to me. Like, look at how many apps I have turned off of backing up. It makes zero sense. Like, it's all gray almost, except for like a couple of smaller apps, and it doesn't make up 22.89 gigabytes. Like, that's insanity. It's probably gonna be another, I don't know, 45 minutes or so until he's home. So we're gonna do this tonight probably, and I'll let you know the results of it probably in the morning, but I'm just gonna let you know right now. Like, that's basically my only last ditch effort to try and get my storage down a little bit. The only thing that we're going to do now, other than press that big red button tonight and see what happens, is go through my photos again. Now that everything is synced up, we're gonna throw everything onto this hard drive that I have plugged into my computer and basically purge my whole camera roll almost of everything that I don't really look at or use from probably like, I don't know, beginning of 2024 backwards, because I have pictures on here from 2017, 2016 that I don't look at anymore. So we're going to back everything up onto my hard drive, delete it, and that'll get rid of a little bit more storage as well. So I think we're overall doing well. It's a little bit of a marathon to get through, but we're doing good. So let's go through my photos real fast, and I will let you guys know what happens tonight with the whole iCloud reset thing. Fingers crossed that nothing breaks. Hours later, as you can see, I have wet hair and everything, but we're about to press the big red button and hope for the best. I don't think it's gonna delete everything, because that would be like a true factory reset. So I'm just gonna hope and pray that the iCloud amount that ends up being on here after I turn it off is a little bit better as far as the size of it, because 22 gigabytes, almost 23 gigabytes is insanity. So I just finished backing up all of my photos as well. It took a long time for them to all back up, so it finally finished. So now I can unplug my hard drive and we can get into this whole situation. And then I think that'll basically be it, because I did go through emails and stuff while I was waiting on all of these photos to go through. So fingers crossed that I can turn it off and delete from iCloud and then turn it back on and hope that it works. We'll just see. So you're gonna be here with me to do this. I'm a little scared, but it should be okay. It says turns off iCloud backup on your device and deletes all of your device's backups stored on iCloud. So we're gonna do that right now. This is so scary. Okay. Ready for this? I'm so terrified. You can't even see it. I don't know if you'll be able to even see it. You'll just see me tap the screen here. This will turn off backup for this iPhone and delete all of its backups. Deleted backups will not be available to restore another device if it is lost or damaged. Turn off and delete. Permanently delete. Deleting. This is so scary. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and turn my phone off completely, turn it back on, and see what ends up happening. It's all the way off now. We're gonna let it sit for a minute and then turn it back on. And in the meantime, I'm gonna go in and organize some of these photos, because it's just a haphazard jumble in here now. So I want to organize them like by year if I can. Okay, we're back. Things are kind of migrating into folders right now. So I'm gonna try and turn it back on. I'm also gonna plug my phone in because I realize I'm at 20% right now. So we're gonna do it like this. iCloud backup. Back up this iPhone. It is turning on now. I don't know if you can read it from here, but she's booting up. I'm curious to see if it's gonna be less than 23 gigs, because if it is, this is like a cheat code for those of you who are having trouble with your iCloud storage too. We will see, we will see. Backing up, estimated time remaining is loading. So I guess it'll probably be a little while, but that is okay. I just want everything to be backed up and done. I'm done with this at this point. It's a good thing to have been done, but like, this is so annoying. So we're just gonna let it sit and do its thing. I'm gonna continue organizing these photos a little bit, and then I guess I'll probably talk to you tomorrow before I head out for the weekend to round this out and kind of give you my final thoughts and all of the final stats and everything, but things are going well. I'm pretty pleased with everything, all things considered. Good morning, you guys. This is my final update because I think we have done everything that we have needed to do to get my iCloud storage under control. Here are my final stats. Last night, my phone did back up and it's taking up 16.5 gigabytes now instead of the 22, which is so exciting. I guess that's a little known hack if you are trying to save space on your iCloud account, but you don't know why things are taking up so much space. Try turning it off and back on again and see what happens, because that was a very exciting thing to see this morning. And then also my iPad did also back up again. I guess it's a daily thing now, which is so nice. My iPad is less than 10 gigabytes. It's at 9.3 gigabytes now on my iCloud account, which is so exciting. I thought it was gonna be more than the 11.3 that it was yesterday, but I guess I deleted enough stuff yesterday and like throughout the past couple of days to where it's now catching up on itself, and it's at 9.3 now, which is so exciting. I still have to go through my photos and like back up and delete stuff fully. Everything is still kind of loading on my hard drive, so we're gonna let things do that today, and I'm just going to kind of work on the photo things offline, but at least I know that nothing is going to be lost for the foreseeable future for a long time, because my total iCloud storage that is being taken up is 37.7 out of 50, which is so exciting, and I think that's gonna last me for a good long while. So with that said, I think this video has done what it needed to do. I have been able to declutter my digital life and get my iCloud storage under control, and I haven't had to buy anything extra, which is so exciting. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, please leave a like. I'd really appreciate it. Subscribe down below for more from me, and comment down below the cloud emoji, because that's what we've been working with. This whole video is my iCloud, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.